Have you ever been like, at a farmer's market, just overwhelmed by choices?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Totally.
let's say you're trying to find like the perfect heirloom tomato, right?
Uh-huh.
There's tons that look fine, but then you see one
Yeah.
and it's like, it just draws you in.
Calling to you.
It's vibrant. It's got a
Mhm.
cool shape. You can just tell this is the one.
Absolutely.
Like that magnetic pull, towards something special.
It's special.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, how to build a business that has that same pull, that same energy that, just like you said, draws people in.
Irresistibly magnetic.
Yes, exactly.
We are deep diving today into The Pumpkin Plan by Mike Michalowicz.
Love this book.
It's kind of like a blueprint, for building a business that really stands out.
Not just another pumpkin in the patch.
Not at all. The one everyone's like, whoa.
Exactly, the prize winner.
So Michalowicz, he actually wrote this book based on his own experience.
Yeah, he's been there.
Not just like theory. He was in the trenches.
Oh, yeah. And he actually hit a wall with his own company.
He did.
Olmec, a computer technology company.
Okay.
And he was doing pretty well revenue-wise, bringing in almost $1 million in 4 years.
Not bad.
But he wasn't making any real profit.
The classic entrepreneurial trap.
Yeah, and he talks about this sell it, do it cycle.
Yeah, always hustling, always chasing the next deal.
And just feeling stuck like you're running but not actually going anywhere.
Spinning your wheels.
He actually joked at one point that his receptionist was making more money than him after expenses.
Ouch. I bet that was a wake-up call.
Right, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to that feeling,
Absolutely. That pressure to say yes to every client, every opportunity, even if it's not really moving you forward.
Yeah. So Michalowicz, he meets this mentor.
Okay.
His name is Frank.
Frank, the wise mentor.
Right, and they met at a Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Not exactly known for being the most inspiring places, right?
Oh, really? No.
A lot of desperate pitches happening there.
Yeah, but Frank was different.
Okay. How so?
He was the president of this successful medical services company. He had grown it from $8 million to $80 million.
Wow. Impressive.
Yeah, so he wasn't there to hustle. He was there to give back.
That's refreshing.
And Michalowicz was kind of, struggling. And Frank just gives him this advice that sounds kind of crazy at first.
I'm intrigued. What did he say?
He said, cut your client list.
What? Seriously?
Yeah, like drastically cut it.
I can only imagine what Michalowicz was thinking at that moment.
Right. You've worked so hard to get those clients.
And you're supposed to just get rid of them.
Exactly. But Frank, he saw the bigger picture. He was like, you need to focus your energy where it really matters.
Kind of like a gardener pruning a vine to help the best pumpkins grow bigger.
Exactly. So that is exactly what we are going to unpack today.
The core principles of the pumpkin plan.
Yes. And how you can apply them.
To your own business.
Regardless of what industry you're in or what stage you're at.
That's the beauty of this stuff. It's universally applicable.
So let's dive into this pumpkin analogy a little deeper.
Okay, love it.
So Michalowicz, he actually gets this idea from giant pumpkin growers.
Like those massive pumpkins you see at fairs.
Yes, exactly. And there are people who are obsessed with growing these things.
I had no idea that was a thing.
Oh, yeah. It's very serious. And they've got it down to a science.
Like what kind of science are we talking about?
Well, they start with very specific seeds. They don't just use any old pumpkin seed.
Makes sense.
Right. They use seeds that have been bred for generations to produce those giant pumpkins.
Oh, wow. So it's like genetics?
Yeah, exactly. And Michalowicz, he highlights this guy, Howard Dill.
Okay.
He's like the legend. He created this seed called the Atlantic Giant.
Okay, I've heard of that.
And it's the seed behind pretty much every record-breaking pumpkin.
That's amazing.
It is. And the point is, you can't grow a 2,000-pound pumpkin from a regular seed.
Right. You need that special foundation.
Exactly. And it's the same with your business.
Okay. I see where you're going with this.
You can't build this amazing standout business by spreading yourself too thin.
Trying to be everything to everyone.
Right. You need to find your Atlantic Giant seed.
So in business terms, what does that actually mean?
It means figuring out your sweet spot.
Okay. Sweet spot. I like that.
And your sweet spot has 3 parts.
All right. Lay it on me.
First, your top clients.
The clients you absolutely love working with.
Yes. The ones who are profitable, but also who really get you and your business.
They align with your values.
Exactly. And Michalowicz calls these your immutable laws.
Immutable laws sounds intense.
It's like the non-negotiable principles that guide your business.
The things you're not willing to compromise on.
Exactly. And he gives some examples in the book, like give to give.
Okay.
No dicks allowed.
I like that one.
Right. And blood money.
So basically, these are like the rules you live by in your business.
Exactly. And you want clients who get that, who respect those rules.
Who are on the same page.
Yeah, and to figure out who those top clients are, he has this great question.
Hit me with it.
The desert island question.
All right, I'm listening.
If you were stranded on a desert island and you could only take one client with you, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a good one. It really makes you think.
Right. Who do you trust? Who do you actually enjoy being around?
And who wouldn't drive you crazy on a desert island?
Exactly.
So that's top clients. What's the second part of the sweet spot?
Your unique offering.
What you bring to the table.
Yeah, and Michalowicz breaks this down further into your area of innovation, or AOI.
AOI. Got it.
And this is the thing, you do better than anyone else.
Your superpower.
Exactly. And it could be price, quality, convenience.
Like Walmart is all about price, right?
Exactly. Mercedes is quality, McDonald's is convenience.
Okay, so you pick one thing and you become the best at it.
Yes. And it should feel natural. It shouldn't be a struggle.
Something you actually enjoy doing.
Exactly. So thinking about your business, what would you say your AOI is?
That's a great question. I have to think about that.
And the third part of your sweet spot is systematization.
Systems, processes, all that good stuff.
Yeah, basically making your business run smoothly without you having to do everything.
So you can actually take a vacation.
Exactly. Imagine being able to step away for like a month.
Yeah, and your business is not only still running, it's thriving.
That's the dream.
It is, and that's the power of systems.
Because without systems, even if you have the best clients and a unique offering, you're still going to be stuck.
Trapped in that sell it, do it cycle.
Like Eric, the race car driver.
Yeah, Michalowicz uses him as an example. He's incredibly talented, but his business is entirely dependent on him.
So he can never really scale or step away.
Right. He's always working.
Always on the hamster wheel.
So your sweet spot is where all three of these things come together.
Top clients, unique offering systems.
It's the magic formula.
And that's your Atlantic giant seed.
Exactly.
All right, so once you know your sweet spot, what's next?
Well, now you've got to look at your existing clients.
Your current vine, so to speak.
Exactly. And you've got to be brutally honest with yourself.
About which clients are actually serving you. Yeah, and Michalowicz, he provides this tool called the assessment chart.
Okay, what is that?
It's basically a way to evaluate your clients on different criteria.
Like what kind of criteria?
Well, things like profitability, how much you enjoy working with them,
They said.
their potential for growth, how well they align with your immutable laws.
Right, those core values.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you give each client a grade in each category.
Like A through F.
Yep. A is like the dream client. F is like, oh no!
So it's a way to get a really clear picture of your client base.
And to see who is actually helping you grow your business.
And who might be holding you back.
Exactly. And Michalowicz, he stresses that you need to be really honest during this process.
Yeah, it's easy to let emotions get in the way.
Totally. And he even recommends having someone else look at your chart.
Someone who can be more objective.
Yeah, someone who doesn't have those same emotional attachments.
To help you see things more clearly.
Exactly.
So this is where it gets tough, right?
Yeah.
Because once you know which clients are not a good fit, you have to let them go.
You've got to kill the diseased pumpkins.
It sounds harsh, but it's necessary.
It is. It's like pruning that vine.
To make room for the healthy pumpkins to thrive.
And Michalowicz, he argues that those bad clients, they're actually draining your energy.
Yeah, they're taking up space that could be used for better clients.
He gives this example of an airline that realized their most problematic customers were tourists who only flew on deep discounts.
Oh yeah, those folks.
And they were always causing problems.
Demanding upgrades, complaining about everything.
Exactly. And the airline was so focused on filling seats, they were putting up with it.
But it was actually hurting their business in the long run.
Yeah, so they made the tough decision to let those customers go.
And it paid off?
It freed up their resources to focus on the customers who were actually profitable and less of a headache.
I bet their employees were happier too.
Oh, definitely.
So how do you actually kill a client?
Well, it doesn't have to be like a dramatic confrontation.
Right, no need to burn bridges?
It can be as simple as raising your prices.
If they're always trying to haggle.
Exactly. Or changing your policies in a way that makes them less likely to want to work with you.
So it's more like gently nudging them towards the door.
Exactly. The goal is to make the separation as painless as possible.
For both of you.
Okay, so once you've cleared out the diseased pumpkins,
What's next?
now it's time to focus on your top clients, your best pumpkins.
And really nurture them.
Yes, go above and beyond.
Spoil them rotten.
Michalowicz, He actually says favoritism is a good thing.
Wait, really? I thought that was a bad word in business.
It can be, but in this context, it means giving your best clients special treatment.
Not in a way that's unfair to other clients?
No, but like giving them extra attention, being more responsive to their needs.
Proactively reaching out with new ideas?
Exactly, because they're the ones who are going to help you grow your business.
With your biggest fans.
They are, and he cautions against calling them VIPs.
Why is that?
Because it can create this sense of entitlement.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Like they might start expecting special treatment all the time.
And taking advantage.
Right. So instead, just treat them really well.
Make them feel valued.
And the funny thing is, a lot of the things you do for your best clients will end up benefiting all of your clients.
It raises the bar for everyone.
Exactly.
So this kind of goes against the whole the customer is always right thing, right?
It does. And Michalowicz, he actually says the right customer is always right.
I like that much better.
Right. It's about recognizing that not all customers are created equal.
Some are just more trouble than they're worth.
And trying to please everyone is going to make you crazy.
And spread you too thin.
Exactly. So focus on your best clients and make them really happy.
Makes sense.
Now, another strategy for keeping your best clients happy is under-promise, over-deliver.
UPOD.
Yep. And it's all about managing expectations.
So instead of promising the moon and then failing to deliver...
Right. He set the bar a little lower.
And then you blow them away.
Exactly. Michalowicz calls that initial disappointment the tinge factor.
The tinge factor.
Okay. But it's quickly overcome by the wow factor of exceeding their expectations.
I like it. It's all about creating positive surprises.
Exactly.
So how do you actually figure out what your best clients want?
Well, you ask them.
Simple as that.
Michalowicz, he recommends doing client interviews, but not to sell them anything.
Oh, interesting.
It's to really understand their needs, their frustrations.
Their wish list.
Exactly. What do they wish you offered? What drives them crazy about your industry?
So you're gathering valuable insights.
Yes. And the goal is to find patterns in their responses.
Not just one-off requests.
Right. He gives this example of an online jewelry retailer.
Okay.
And they did these client interviews, and they discovered that a lot of their best clients who were vintage clothing store owners, they were really frustrated with the lack of good bridal and bridesmaid jewelry options.
Interesting.
So the retailer, they created these curated collections specifically for brides and bridesmaids.
And it was a hit.
Huge hit. They tapped into this unmet need.
That's awesome.
It is. So once you really understand your best clients, you can start to differentiate your business in a way that really stands out.
So you're not just another pumpkin in the patch.
Exactly. And one of the ways to do that is through labeling. Giving your business a unique name that clearly communicates what you do.
Instead of being generic.
Exactly. Like think about Best Buy's Geek Squad.
Right. Much better than just saying computer repair guys.
Way better. It instantly tells you they're the experts.
And they're going to take care of you.
Michalowicz, he actually rebranded his own company.
He did.
Yeah. He went from computer repair guys to hedge fund technology specialists.
That's so much more specific.
Right. It instantly narrowed his focus and positioned him as the go-to guy for hedge funds.
So labeling is about finding that niche.
Yes, and making it crystal clear to your ideal clients what you do.
I love it.
And once you've got that clear label, you can start using the insider strategy.
The insider strategy was that?
This is where you involve your best clients in the development of new products and services.
Wow, so you're getting their input from the very beginning?
Exactly, you're co-creating with them.
That's brilliant.
Michalowicz, he gives this example of a guy named Paul Scheider.
Right.
He owns a company called Hedgehog Leatherworks.
Okay.
And he makes leather goods for outdoorsmen and survivalists.
Cool.
Yeah, and when he's designing a new knife sheath or something, he goes straight to his customers.
And asks them what they want.
Exactly.
Sure.
He's like, what do you need? What would make this better?
So he's not just guessing.
Nope. He's getting direct feedback from the people who are actually going to use his products.
That's smart.
It is, and it has a few benefits.
Like what?
Well, first, it reduces risk.
Because you're not just launching a product into the void hoping people will buy it.
Exactly. You're creating something that your customers have already told you they want.
So you know there's a market for it.
Yeah. And second, it creates the sense of ownership.
Because the customers feel like they were part of the process.
They're invested in its success.
I bet they're more likely to tell their friends about it, too.
Exactly. It's like built-in marketing.
So how do you get new clients into this whole pumpkin plan way of thinking?
Michalowicz, he has this interesting idea called referrals through vendors.
Referrals through vendors.
Yeah, so instead of just asking your clients for referrals,
you go to their vendors.
Exactly, because your best clients are probably working with other great businesses.
Businesses that serve a similar clientele.
Exactly. So you reach out to those vendors and you're not trying to sell them anything.
Okay.
You're offering your expertise. You're saying, hey, how can we work together to better serve our mutual clients?
That's a really collaborative approach.
It is, and it builds trust.
And those vendors, they're in a great position to refer you to new clients.
They are, because they already have those relationships.
It's like a warm introduction.
Exactly. Michalowicz, he tells the story about how he did this with his company.
Right.
He was focusing on hedge funds, and he started reaching out to vendors like Goldman Sachs.
Wow. Goldman Sachs?
Yeah, and he wasn't trying to get Goldman Sachs as a client.
Right. He was trying to partner with them.
Exactly. He was saying, hey, we're the experts in hedge fund technology.
How can we make your lives easier?
And it worked. Goldman Sachs started referring him to new clients.
That's amazing.
It is. So now, once you've got your top clients and you're starting to let go of the bad ones,
Yeah.
you're probably going to find that you can cut some expenses.
Because you're not wasting resources on those bad clients anymore.
Exactly. And Michalowicz, he calls this the tourniquet technique.
The tourniquet technique.
Yeah, it's about stopping the bleeding.
From those unprofitable clients.
Exactly. And it means going through your expenses line by line.
Everything.
Everything: employees, office supplies, marketing, software, subscriptions.
And if it was primarily for those bad clients, you cut it.
You cut it, no mercy.
It's about being lean and efficient.
Exactly. Michalowicz, he tells this story about a financial planner who realized that after he narrowed his focus, he didn't need his fancy office anymore.
So he got rid of it.
Yep, saved a ton of money.
Good for him.
Right. So the tourniquet technique is about freeing up resources.
To invest in your best clients.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about pruning the vine, nurturing the good pumpkins.
Yeah.
But the pumpkin plan goes even further.
It's not just about optimizing your existing business.
That's about innovation.
Yes. Yes.
Killing the curve. Okay, killing the curve sounds dramatic.
It is. It's about disrupting the status quo.
Not just doing things a little better.
No, it's about doing things completely differently.
Creating a whole new curve.
Exactly. Like, think about TiVo.
Okay.
They didn't just make a slightly better VCR.
They reinvented how we watch TV.
Exactly. Or Netflix.
They killed Blockbuster.
They did. They saw the flaws in the existing system and they created a better way.
And they became the new standard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Michalowicz, he calls this the 180 technique.
The 180 technique.
Yeah, you look at what everyone else is doing and you do the opposite.
Interesting.
He says you should look at your top clients' wish list and see if there are any pain points that no one is addressing.
And then you solve those problems.
Exactly. And he also talks about finding your EST.
Your EST.
Yeah, like what is the thing you do that is the most of something?
The fastest, the cheapest, the best.
Exactly, because that's how you differentiate yourself.
You become the undisputed champion.
And he points to Steve Jobs as a master of this.
Steve Jobs, yeah, he was always pushing boundaries.
He was constantly killing curbs.
So the pumpkin plan is not just about being a better gardener.
No.
It's about becoming a true entrepreneur.
Exactly. It's about working on your business, not just in it.
And Michalowicz's mentor, Frank, he had a great definition of an entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah. What was it?
He said an entrepreneur is someone who identifies problems, discovers opportunities, and builds systems for others to do the work.
That's it in a nutshell.
It's about creating something that can run without you.
So you can actually enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Exactly.
And to help your team make decisions that align with this vision. Michalowicz, he has the 3 questions.
The 3 questions.
Right, I'm ready.
Question number 1. Does this decision better serve our top clients?
Okay, that's a good one.
Question number 2. Does this decision improve or maintain our area of innovation?
Our AOI, right?
Yes. And question number 3. Does this decision grow or maintain our profitability?
So every decision has to pass this 3-question test.
Exactly. And if it doesn't pass all 3,
you don't do it.
You don't do it. It's a simple but powerful framework.
It keeps everyone focused on the big picture.
So to sum it all up,
the
pumpkin plan is about focused growth.
Finding your Atlantic giant seed and nurturing it.
And ruthlessly eliminating anything that doesn't support that growth.
It's about building a remarkable business
that stands out from the crowd.
And escaping that feeling of being trapped.
So here's a final thought for you. Okay, I'm listening.
Think about your clients right now. Can you identify one who really embodies your ideal client?
That one client you take to a desert island.
Exactly. And what's one small thing you can do today to better serve that client?
Or to systematize part of your business.
Because every giant pumpkin starts with a single seed.
And every remarkable business starts with a clear vision and a willingness to focus.
So what's your Atlantic giant seed?
And what curve are you ready to kill?
That's something to think about.
Definitely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Until next time.
See ya.